Hello everyone, thank you for tuning into my channel. So today I'm coming to you with a review and a breakdown of the Super Shred diet by Dr. Ian Smith. It was highly requested after my How I Lost 23 Pounds in 3 Months video. If you didn't see that video, definitely click over here so you can check it out. It's a very informative video. And in that video, I discussed how the Super Shred diet jump-started my weight loss, and I offered to do a review if people wanted it. Okay, so the Super Shred diet is it's a diet program where you don't have to like eat anything unusual. You're not eating like box meals or anything like that, and you're not counting calories, but you are, the focus of this diet plan is 4 weeks, where each week the time frame of when you will eat is switching, and that switch up of your eating schedule is what really makes it work. You are focusing on keeping your metabolism up and making sure that you eat frequently. So the Super Shred diet is not built for long-term use. Dr. Ian describes it as that big weapon that you pull out of your holster, the one that's gonna like give you the biggest bang. When you have a lot to lose, then you would probably do Super Shred to jumpstart your weight loss and then get on something else like the regular shred to continue on after. Or if you've been doing something else and now you have like that last 20, 15, 10 pounds to lose, you do the Super Shred and it gets you there. You have that vacation and you need to get into that bikini and you just have like 10 to 15 pounds and you would be looking right. You get the Super Shred. You have that wedding dress coming up that you need to fit into, and that last 20, 15, 10 pounds, that's when you pull out Super Shred. So it's not like an all the time thing, because losing 20 pounds a month is an unhealthy way to lose weight, but it will help to jumpstart you or get you to your goal, and then you follow something less strict like regular shred or whatever diet you're on. And so like the science behind the Super Shred is just like any other diet or just common knowledge. If you consume a certain amount of food, which translates and converts into energy, and you exert more energy than you've consumed, you're gonna lose weight. And so that's what it does. It forces you to eat often, continue to work out, but the amount that you're taking in is a lot less than what you would need on a daily basis to actually like function. Thus you lose weight because your body's going to take energy from wherever it exists, and all that fat up in you is where it all exists. Dr. Ian has a concept that he calls calorie disruption, where there's an imbalance in your caloric intake every day or daily. Some days you have higher calorie days, and then you have lower calorie days, and then you have days where your calories are really, really low, followed by a day where your calories are a lot more. And so this calorie disruption keeps your body guessing, your metabolism continues to go quickly, and you in return end up really depleting a lot of the energy stores, aka fat, that you have all up in your body. So Dr. Ian refers to the 4 weeks and what's happening in the 4 weeks as fast. Week 1, F, is foundation. Week 2, A, is accelerate. Week 3, S, is shape. And week 4 is tenacious. And so in week 1, because it's a foundation, you get a sense of meal timing and how important it is for your body and your metabolism to eat on a consistent schedule versus like what a lot of us may do. Maybe you wake up in the morning and you don't eat anything. You wake up at like 6 a.m. to get ready for work. You don't eat anything until 10 o'clock, or when you get to your desk at 9. 3 hours have passed. On Super Shred, meal timing is important. You eat an hour after you wake up, and then you're eating something every 2 to 3 hours on a consistent schedule based on how the week's time, meal time is set up. In the second week, because a lot of people during their second week of weight loss get into a plateau or they don't really lose a lot of weight, he calls this week accelerate because he pushes you with the reduction in your calories to beat that second week blues so that you do lose weight and keeps you motivated, of course. Week 3 is referred to as shape. And in week 3, he says you'll see a difference in the shape of your body. And it is the toughest week based on what type of meals you're getting and how limited your calories are. But because you're supposed to be losing about 5 pounds a week, at this point, you're like in your 15th pound, and thus you do see a lot of results. Week 4 is referred to as tenacious, and it's not the hardest week like week 3, but it's not as easy as like a week 1. And basically he's saying like this is your last push, lose as much as you possibly can. Okay, so in week 1, your food schedule begins with your first meal an hour after you eat, and then your snack an hour and a half after that, followed by a second snack an hour and a half after that first snack, followed by a meal an hour after the second snack. So now at this point, it's like midday and you've eaten a meal, 2 snacks, and now you're on your second meal. After that second meal, there's a large fast window in comparison to the morning of 4 hours. And you get your meal 3, and then you have no snacks between meal 3 and meal 4. So, and there's no snacks from meal 2 to meal 3, no snacks from meal 3 to meal 4. And you want to be ending your day with meal 4 early, like 7 o'clock. So for some of us, that's like our pitfall. We're eating dinner really, really late. He absolutely does not want you to be doing that. In week 2, there's only 3 meals and 2 snacks instead of 4 meals and 2 snacks. In week 3, there's only 2 meals, but there's 4 snacks. And then in week 4, you're back to 4 meals again. However, there's only 1 snack. So at the beginning of every week, Dr. Ian has outlined some type of like grocery list where he basically says, these are the things you're gonna need, and then for these options for breakfast, these are options for breakfast, choose from these. These are options for lunch or meal 2, choose for these, and then like these are the type of snacks you can have. You need vegetables, you need salads, this is the meat you need. I actually found the grocery list to be like so confusing. It's a lot of information as far as like choosing the items you want without understanding what your week is going to even be like. And so for me, I found it easier, instead of going through the shopping list and saying, okay, I'm going to need this much salad if I choose salad. I'm going to need this much chicken if I choose chicken. I'm going to need this much oatmeal if I choose oatmeal, because that's pretty much what the way that the grocery list is set up. I found it so much easier to go to the weekly meal plan and look at day 1. What are my options for meal 1? And then I would select my option for meal 1. And so I used I have my little notebook here. I keep this journal for like everything, and I wrote out my my meals, and I would put week 1, day 1, and I would put the time that I planned on eating said meal, what food item I was going to eat, what drink I was going to drink with it, and then I would check it off on the given day, but I wrote it out for the week. So for week 1, I knew every single thing I was going to eat for week 1 before my first day of the program. I was able to go through the meal options and choose what made the most sense for me, because there were some times where I had an option of like a grilled cheese sandwich, and there were days where I had the option between like a fruit and like a yogurt or a bowl of Cheerios. Well, I'm hungry, so I'm going to choose the bowl of cereals. Whereas the bowl of Cheerios, whereas if you go through the grocery list, you don't get to see like choosing this amount of a food item without even knowing what other foods are around it just makes me feel blind. And I just personally don't feel like I was capable of making good choices to make me successful. So I don't know if that made any sense, but I'm basically saying looking at the grocery list is not helpful for me as much as it is for me to look at the meal plan, because he lists out the options. And from seeing the options of what the whole day is going to look like, I can decide on what foods I want. And there is no bad choice because they're both options. So just because someone decides to choose a fruit and yogurt doesn't make that decision any better than me who chooses the bowl of Cheerios. It's not a calorie counting game. You don't have to worry about that. So I wrote down my whole week, and then like when I would get through midway through week one, I would begin outlining my week 2. So it was really helpful to have all the foods already listed for me to be extremely successful. I know that a lot of weight loss programs like Weight Watchers, they force you to track, and that's what makes a lot of people on the Weight Watchers program successful. It's a very similar thing. It's so much easier for you if you already know what you're going to eat to eat it. It's just the reality of the situation. And versus having to pick up the book and decide, okay, what am I going to eat now? Another reason why having it outlined like this was helpful to me is because then I really knew what I needed for my grocery list versus just buying a whole bunch of things and then not eating it. So for me, this was helpful to have it out like this. I knew what was coming. I could purchase better, and I could make different substitutions when I felt like I needed to, because there would be days I wrote things down and I'm looking ahead a few days and I'm like, you know what, this snack wasn't as filling as I needed it to be, so let me substitute that for something else. Okay, so now when it comes to snacks, your snacks are limited to 100 calories and 150 calories. Dr. Ian has a whole chapter on snacks that are like 100 calories and 150. So from there, I just picked a bunch and I made a page of 100 calorie snacks and 150 calorie snacks that I liked. So I didn't have to keep going back to the book to see like what are my options. I went through them, I made notations about which snacks I liked the most, and then I wrote them down based on their calories so that when I was picking for the upcoming weeks, I knew which snacks I liked the most. I also use that as a way to make substitutions. Some snacks having so little calories was detrimental because then I wanted more. So I would take that snack out because I just knew having 100 calories of said snack made me want more of it and was not allowed to have more of it. So I would take that out. Or certain snacks I needed to have earlier in the day when I was more active than later in the day, because it would either weigh me down, or if it was too light earlier in the day when I'm more active, then I felt unsatisfied. So a heavier snack would be put in the earlier part of the day versus the later part of the day. You know, just decisions like that you're able to make when you have your foods all listed out. The plan does have days where your caloric intake is really low. He calls it super shredder days. And there's one day like that every single week where you're like having like soup and like smoothies or protein shakes, and that's it for like the whole day. But then you have weeks where you can have like lasagna, or you can have like a hamburger. You can have like I said, grilled cheese sandwiches. I loved the days when I could have like turkey sandwiches, which was often. I was so happy about having like a turkey sandwich. I was also very happy about the salads. You have lots of salads. If you make your salads in a way that you enjoy, then it can be very tasty. Some of my favorite snacks that I learned from this program were 5 Ritz crackers with a thin layer of peanut butter on each. That is a 150 calorie snack. 2 Honey graham crackers, the full sheet, which is about 8 individual crackers with a thin layer of peanut butter. That's another 150 calorie snack. 30 grapes is a 100 calorie snack. Cheese sticks and one cheese stick and an apple is a 100 calorie snack. So those were some of my favorite snacks that I ate on the program, but there's so many. I found myself staying away from a lot of the vegetable snacks because I just, at this time when I was doing it, I don't enjoy like raw veggies like how other people might. So I found myself staying away from the raw veggies because I prefer to eat them with dressing like in my salad. So I kept my 150 and my 100 calorie snack options more on the starchy side. Like I would have the Ritz crackers, I would have the graham crackers, I would have the boiled egg, the instant oatmeal. Like I found myself doing it like the carbohydrate stuff, and then having the salads for the meal options when they were there. I actually I mentioned in my video about how I lost the weight, 23 pounds in 3 months, that I, during the 4 weeks of shred, I did not lose the 20 pounds. That is, about an average. Some people, obviously the results vary. People lose less, people lose more. I didn't lose the 20 pounds. I did lose 14. I also found myself more motivated about working out while doing the super shred because I wanted to really accelerate my results. So knowing that the eating was gonna get me to lose the weight, Dr. Ian also wants you to maintain an active lifestyle. So he suggests you work out 4 days a week. So I started going to the gym regularly as a part of the weight loss program. And so going to the gym for the 4 days a week carried over. Eating frequent meals is something that still hasn't carried over as well, but I will pop snacks in my mouth throughout the day that are healthier. So I won't eat a super heavy breakfast because I know that that's not good calorically, and I won't have like a super heavy dinner because that's also not good calorically, but I may have my lunch be like a really dense meal, and I will pop snacks throughout the day. Like I said, like I love my graham crackers. I'll eat some sunburst tomatoes. I'll take a handful of peanuts. I will eat a boiled egg. I'll have grapes and bananas. I do have green smoothies for breakfast a lot now. I will have soups for dinner on days where I had heavy meals earlier in the day. And I do have heavier caloric days and lighter caloric days. So those are some of the skills and things that I took with me from the program. I hope I'm giving you guys good information as far as the book. I guess I should rate the book. I would say that I highly recommend the book to someone who is looking to motivate themselves and push through the final 20, 15, 10 pounds or jumpstart their weight loss. I think that if you are already in a very focused and structured mind frame, then this program will be very, very easy for you. If you are starting from you're not doing much, you're very sedentary, you're not really eating well, and you need a guide and you're willing and able to follow, then this program will be good for you. But if you're just not at a place right now where you can see yourself completely changing your lifestyle and you need a small change, then you won't be successful on this program because it requires a lot of planning. Like meal prep was so integral for me because you're eating so often. You can't possibly spend 30 minutes to an hour preparing some of these things right before you eat them, because in some cases you just ate an hour prior. So basically from the time you ate that snack up until the time of the next meal, you would have to be prepping the meal. You can't wait until the minute that you're supposed to eat to cook. So there were many instances where I needed to eat a protein, like I had chicken tenderloins and vegetables, 2 cups of vegetables. I went to the supermarket and I bought a big, huge bag of frozen California blend, which is broccoli, cauliflower, and carrots. And I would steam them in some olive oil in a pot, and that way I would have a heaping of this vegetable. I would then saute 2 to 3 pounds of chicken tenderloins in garlic, cayenne pepper, adobo seasonings, onion, and olive oil. And then I would portion them out, like 2 to 3 strips and 2 cups of the California blend. And then in another container, 2 to 3 chicken strips and then 2 to 3 cups of the California blend. I would also prep my salads minus the dressing, so that when it was time to eat my salad, I could just go in the fridge and grab it. Same thing for some of my snacks, because I knew how many boiled eggs I was going to need for the day, and that was one of my snack choices because it was really yummy for me. I would just boil all the eggs one day and then put them in the fridge in their shell, and then when it was time to eat them, I'd crack the shell, put it in a wet paper towel, and warm it for about 20 seconds. So there were many a lot of preparation went into the week because, like I said, sometimes you ate an hour before and now it's time to eat, and the meal is, you know, a chicken and vegetable meal. You can't make that right then and there, especially if you're working out of your home environment like me. You need to have this with you at work. So it requires a lot of prep in order to make it work and without failure. But the meal prep and the meal timing is 2 important factors in a healthy diet, regardless of if it's a super shred diet or not. If you meal prep, you are more likely to consume the food you've eaten, and when you get hungry, there's no thought about what to eat. Let me grab this and let me warm it up because I'm hungry and it is prepared. Whereas if you have nothing prepared and you're hungry, we grab starchy carbohydrates. Let me grab the chips. Let me grab the donut. Let me grab the cookies. Let me grab the whatever is around that's easy, that doesn't need any cooking to satiate your hunger. And that's why we make mistakes. The book does allow for drinking, so if you do like a alcoholic beverage, you can have that. It allows for diet soda, which is something that a lot of people, you know, the sugar is really bad. But at this point when I was doing it, I needed a diet French vanilla Coke every single day to break up the monotony of the food I was eating, which was not something I was accustomed to. You know, bland flavor is not being able to add lots of salt and using only herbs is not an easy transition for people to make just because you say don't use a lot of salt. So having these outlets where I can have a grilled cheese sandwich with, you know, cheese and a little bit of butter and 2 slices of bread was something that I needed. Knowing that I could have a diet soda every single day helped me get through it, and it was something that I looked forward to. Knowing that there was going to be a day where I could have a lasagna was amazing, or a pizza, that was amazing. Knowing that there was going to be a day I could have a hamburger, like all of these situations were amazing, but there's still a lot of prep. Like there were many times I was leaving home, and because my meal 3 was gonna be while I was away, I had to walk with my meal. I had to take it with me. And if I didn't have it prepped, I wouldn't have been able to do that. if you're out and you're doing something in the evening and you don't have your meal with you, you have to go off the program, and you're not going to be as successful as you would like to be if you go off the program. So prepping your salads, prepping the things that are consistent when you make when you write down in your book or wherever you're writing it down what you're going to have. Having it written out helps you to prepare and helps you to be more successful, so you can make decisions around what you're going to be eating. So yeah, that's my review of the book. I loved it. I did buy the regular shred to follow after Super Shred, but I never began it because I was like so over Super Shred once I was done. And when I got the regular shred, it felt like Super Shred minus the fluctuations in all the meals. Like, it's very similar, but it's not as strict because it's more of a lifestyle plan. But I was just like, I don't want to have to eat those type of foods forever. I want to be able to eat the things I like and watch my portions and make healthy decisions around eating things I enjoy. Whereas with Super Shred, whereas with the Shred program, there are guidelines you have to stay within, and food restraints. So I didn't start it. But I do have it, and I took a lot of things from Super Shred, and I am very happy with the progress I've made since beginning it. It did kickstart me. Losing 14 pounds in 4 weeks will kickstart anybody, and I am very happy with my results. I'm very happy with the book, and yeah, that's my review. So this was extremely lengthy, and I'm very sorry for those of you who like short and to the point videos, but I needed to get all of this information out. So let me know if you have any questions by leaving a comment in the comment section. Please subscribe to my channel, and if you have any requests of videos, you can leave that in the comments as well. Share this video with others. Follow me on social media, and as always, I love you for watching. Bye.